Okay, so I'm Hidden-Xperia. I'm mostly a lore YouTuber, but I also make videos just sort of generally about Halo, anything that really interests me in Halo, which pretty much anything relating to Halo. I've been making videos for 9 years almost now. Most of the time it's been Halo stuff, but the last couple of years in particular have been like just Halo, where I've seen the most growth. It's been a pretty crazy few years. I would honestly just say focus on making content that you're passionate about. Don't just hop on trends for the sake of hopping on trends. Like when I started to like fully dedicate myself to YouTube, I decided at first just to do lore stuff and to just purely make lore content and make the best lore content out there, and then eventually sort of branch out along the line. And I feel like that's the best way to grow, honestly, because if you become known for making like one specific type of content really well, people are gonna get attached to you, and then you can start to branch out, and then they're gonna sort of appreciate what you make more. I feel like if I could go back and give myself any advice way back in the day, I would say just focus on making content about something that you're passionate about, and sort of learn all the ins and outs of editing as well. Get good at editing software, get a good mic, get a good capture card, and really just make something that you're passionate about more than anything, because if you do that, then people are going to see the passion that you've got, and they're going to enjoy it. So definitely the biggest advice that I could give. My favorite character in this branded universe is hands down Mendicant-Bias. He's this ancient AI that was like the Foreigner's biggest tool against the Flood. And then at the sort of height of the Forerunner Flood War, he got corrupted by the Flood and sort of joined their side, which caused the Halos to be fired and the entire galaxy to be pretty much exterminated. But just before that, the Foreigners managed to capture him back and essentially lock him away in the AI equivalent of prison. And then about 100,000 years later, he tried to atone for his sins by helping Master Chief at the end of Halo 3 by helping him activate the ring and kill all the Flood. So it's a really cool story arc where he's like at the height of goodness, and then he becomes at the height of evil, and then over like 100,000 years he tries to atone for all of his sins and help the good guys out again. It's a pretty good story arc, and I'm really hoping that at some point in the future he eventually makes it into the games. I can dream. I do, but not in any sort of major capacity. I feel like he's too much of a deep, expanded universe character to be a prominent character in a game. But I feel like the way that they would do it would be sort of the way that Halo 3 did it, where he was in the terminals and he was sort of implicitly helping you out in the background, but he was never like a main antagonist or anything. He never had like any lines, or he didn't have like a boss fight with him or anything. But given where Halo Infinite is looking like it's going to be set, there has never been a more perfect time for Mendicant-Bias to have some sort of role in the story, whether it's a big role or more likely a small role. Halo expanded to PC is honestly the single best thing that could ever happen to this franchise, ever. Honestly, it baffles me that it's taken this long to happen. Obviously, I know it's sort of dipped its feet in the water before a few times, but they've not exactly been the best attempts. The fact that it's finally happened is like huge. I've already noticed an increase in YouTube views since they announced it, and that's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's, at the end of the day, a new market that has like over 15 million people getting opened up to Halo for the first time pretty much ever. And to me, that that only spells good news, unless the game launches on PC and it's completely broken and it's like MCC's original launch all over again. I can't see an outcome where Halo doesn't grow exponentially from this. Only a good thing. I do think that it does. But the way that it's got to be handled really well. We can't have a situation like, say, with Halo 5, where the game launches and it's missing content that's been in Halo since literally day one. Like, Halo 5 took 2 years to get Oddball when Combat Evolved launched with it in 2001. If Infinite were to, let's say, launch with Battle Royale, but in the same situation as Halo 5 launched, where it's missing key game modes and key elements, then I think that would be the worst way to do it, honestly. But I do think it has a place. I think Halo's sandbox is arguably, out of all the games so far that have dipped their feet in Battle Royale, I'd say that Halo has the best and most fitting sandbox for it. There's like different tiers of weapons, there's a health system, there's a shield system, there's vehicles, there's massive maps. It's all there already. It's just waiting for a proper map to be made for it. But like I said, it's got to be done right, got to be done tastefully, and it can't come in and knock a load of other features off the table to make room for itself. If the Halo 3 tournaments keep going as they're going, I feel like we'll have built a really solid foundation for Infinite. I would prefer the events to be more frequent, but I still think either way, we're building like a solid foundation now that we can sort of springboard off when Infinite comes out. Things I'd like to see done differently. I honestly just more events. The events right now are so far apart. It's like you watch one event and you're really hyped and you want to see more, but then you realize you've got to wait like another 2 months, and then the sort of interest wanes a little bit. And then when they start advertising the next event, what's going up again? I know obviously Halo is in a much different situation to Counter-Strike, but I'd love to see V4-3 take some notes out of Valve's book with Counter-Strike and with the way that like ESL and E-Series and everyone deals with Counter-Strike, in the way that there's always like every couple of weeks there's an event. There's always a minor or a major or like a little series going on. There's always something to be watching with Counter-Strike. And I feel like with Halo, if V4-3 could take inspiration from that and have a lot more frequent events, even if they're only small ones, like small invitationals or something, just something to constantly keep the ball rolling and keep the momentum up, because I feel like Halo is in a place where it gets loads of momentum when there's an event and then it falls off, and then it gets loads of momentum again, and I don't think that's as healthy as it could be. That's just my 2 cents. So that's the 2 cents of a law kid. Reciprocity. I've been a massive fan of Snipe Down, Enola, and the Borg and Lunchbox for literally since I got into competitive Halo. I've been watching competitive Halo now for like 9 or 10 years, and those 4 players have been 4 that I've been the biggest fan of for that entire time period. So as much as I love the guys over on Tox, gotta go to Rec. Has to. Okay, overrated team. Pains me to say this, but I want to say status quo. Like, I'm a huge fan of all the guys on that team, but I expected them to be placing like consistently top like 2, top 3. And I mean, they haven't been. A most underrated team. Honestly, I'd say it's Rec still. People still see Tox as sort of like the big boys of the Halo scene and like the dominant team, and they kind of are, even though Rec won, but I feel like people don't give Rec enough credit for managing to dethrone them. And I mean, if they can do it a second time in Dallas in a row, then I feel like that will change. I mean, considering what I just said, definitely Rec. Well, I say definitely like it's a done deal. It'll be close, definitely. It won't be like an easy win, but I have a feeling that after the hype of winning the last event, Rec will come through and they'll get the second W in a row. All right, so my YouTube channel is just Hidden-Xperia. Pretty simple. Twitter is also just Hidden-Xperia. Twitch is, believe it or not, also Hidden-Xperia, as is Instagram and Facebook and like every other platform. So go follow me, go check out my stuff if you haven't already. Yeah, thank you.